What's going on, guys? It's James with Project Esports, brought to you by the Game House. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Mitchell Moody Franklin. Mitchell, go ahead and introduce yourself, my dude.
How's it going, man? It's Mootyy from Lakers Gaming.
Right
Uh,
on.
having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm glad we managed to lock this down. I know we were playing back and forth a little while there, but we finally made something work. So that being said, I want to get right into it. Where'd you get the handle? Where'd you get the name?
It's funny. It came from I played soccer my entire life, and I guess because my name starts with an M, some of my friends freshman year on the soccer team just started calling me like Moody and Moot and stuff. Uh, I don't know why. I to this day I haven't really asked. I just thought it like stuck. So since then, I wanted to be like wherever I go somewhere, someone says something to me by my alias. I kind of wanted it to be something that because people like my friends and stuff, it's only my family now that calls me by my real name.
Mm.
But my friends, everyone calls me Moody or Moot, and they've been doing that for years. So I didn't want like my alias to be like basketball fan 117 or something. And every time someone says something to me, I have to second guess if they're talking to me or not. So now when I just hear like Moody or Moot, like I know someone's talking to me and stuff.
Nah, man, that's a good way of doing it because I mean that's a big thing I've noticed with starting to pay attention to the 2K League is some dudes get some like handles that are like huge, right? I'm just like
Yeah,
it's even harder for the commentators to say, you know what I mean? So
exactly. I just wanted to keep it clean and professional.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean it's short, it's right to the point, man. No, that's good, that's awesome. That being said, you've been kind of given the nickname Big Shot Moot. You want to give me a rundown of what the big shot is for somebody who's like uneducated and doesn't really know what that is.
Well, I mean, I've kind of been notorious and known for hitting big shots or shots you would say in the clutch. And in the 2017 2K17 Road to the All Star Game tournament,
Hmm.
my team Throwdown were kind of like known as underdogs as we're making the tournament.
Okay.
Um, we got all the way to the PlayStation Finals, and we were supposed to be beaten, and we came all the way back. It's notorious. It's on YouTube. It's incredible, the comeback. And I hit a game time shot. I hit a game time shot with a minute to go or so for the comeback, and then I hit a time shot with 4 seconds left to take us to overtime in the $250,000 game with thousands of people watching, which we went on to win that game in overtime. And I hit another shot, even though it was a mid range. That was vital, and it just people started calling me that, and it kind of stuck because I was arguably one of the biggest moments in the entire like 2K esport community.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, man, because like I've seen the name chucked around there, but like as far as finding like concrete like a explanation, so I'm real happy to hear it straight from the the horse's mouth kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
with that being said, when this goes up, we'll include those clips below too, man, just so people can really understand, right? Because I really want them to be wrapped in and enticed and like with the whole notoriety, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, man. So okay, I guess I did some background digging on you, and I guess you kind of were like a huge grinder. You did school, you did 2K, and I don't. Did you find time to sleep? Did you find time to eat? Because it doesn't seem
Not
like.
really. Not really, and that's how I've always been, man. I've kind of always been a night owl. I can't really or don't really choose to sleep at night. Like right now, I'm running off 2 hours of sleep, so if why I don't seem so enthusiastic of attempting to be. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just like staying up late. I can actively think better at night. It's really where I like to like get in my grind time, film watching and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a big leap of faith being a full time college student at Radford University. Which shout out to them. They just beat number 17 Texas yesterday in college basketball. Second big win.
There we
Beat
go.
Notre Dame too. So having a nice little season. But yeah, I'm lucky I had a lot of support from my friends and family to take a semester off and really grind for school, or take away from the grind from school to focus on 2K and making a career out of this. But while I was at school trying to play 2K, I mean it was definitely difficult. I was juggling a lot of things.
Yeah, so that was kind of what I kind of wanted to figure out was like as far as like advice for somebody trying to do that same kind of grind, right? What like would your like in your opinion in your experience be that it's honestly better to commit for one like entirely or trying to balance the two or what do you think?
Personally, I mean, since this is something that's absolutely like life changing and you can make a career out of, I would go the route of just putting your time, all your time and effort into specifically one thing, so it can have your full attention and you can be fully committed and have the most success. Because trying to juggle things like school and that was really difficult. I mean, it's definitely doable. There's enough time in a day. You just have to really set your priorities straight and keep yourself on really a strict schedule, or sacrifice eating, sleeping at times. Just really be on the grind. But that's why I would definitely choose to take the path of really just fully committing to something and just going for it.
Okay, right on, man. Right on. Fair enough. So that being said, we're gonna kind of move into the 2K League itself because you were, of course, were part of its like inaugural season. When it first went to franchising stuff like that. I kind of want to get your perspective because I've heard the critics, I've heard everybody who's like first impressions, but I haven't really seen much from the players. So I want to get your first impression of like the staff, the facility, the atmosphere. What it's like to be like across from your opponents and stuff like that, and even like the commentators. Man, I really want your feedback from it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I had a lot of expectations, and for the season, kind of how it would play out, and it was honestly everything and more. And this is coming from someone who was on a team and that didn't live up to their expectations and was kind of towards the bottom of the standings. It was incredible. It was really surreal because like this still doesn't really feel real at the moment. I mean, you kind of go in and out of reality when things are happening, and it's just crazy to be living this dream. Like, and especially which I hope that more people will take the time to travel and actually come experience the games live in the studio, because experiencing that studio atmosphere is what really makes the league 10 times better. Like it's absolutely absurd. You think you're at an actual like basketball game or a playoff game of any sport with the atmosphere of the crowd, how well the commentators all did, Scott, Dirk, all those guys, they're incredible. I mean, it's really just speaks to how highly uh, the league is really held right now, because the league is full of just past and present professionals at what they do at their jobs. So the like when people try to ask me, which is frustrating when people try to ask me what the 2K League is, and I have to sit there and explain it over and over,
Yeah.
like a recording. I really just kind of tell them now, like it's pretty much the NBA in a virtual world. Like think of it that way. Like we literally emulate and do pretty much the exact same things an NBA athlete would do, like schedule wise, competing wise. Um, so that's really cool being held to a professional standard. With the professional title, because it makes everything all real. So it was really everything and more, and the potential for this league is through the roof with how much esport technology is just going to continue to grow. So I'm really optimistic and anticipating. I'm ready to be in LA already and start the season. Take the trip to New York every weekend. I'm ready to get back after it.
So okay, so like we're gonna kind of like step back a little bit. So when you were talking about like how you guys kind of like mirror the NBA and stuff like that with I guess because you're not with LA yet, like you're not physically there yet, but with the Kings, were you guys doing like kind of like were you doing like strict schedules as far as like physical activity, practice, scrimming, like all that stuff, and like like VOD review and stuff like that? Was that kind of the setup?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of varied from a week to week basis depending on what we had scheduled, or our opponents and stuff. I mean, especially myself personally, you could catch me watching a lot of film during my downtime, because I feel like that's one of the uh, aspects and concepts of the game that people don't really consider to do the most or really prioritize, when it's just like any other sport. Watching film of your opponents in your game can immensely help your growth overall. So I'd really just try to do that a lot. And we actually had a personal trainer, Uriah Faber. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go that much, but like it was cool having a professional MMA fighter.
I was gonna say, yeah, man, you guys had Uriah, like.
Yeah, it was cool, and his gym it was right up the street. So that was it. Like I previously mentioned, it's just really to really just summarize everything. It's you're considered professional, and they make you feel like a professional with really just how well done everything is, and how really how prioritized you are as a player and as a team is in the league.
No, and that's awesome. That's good. It's good to hear that like that's the standard everybody's holding to everybody to. You know what I mean? You guys are being treated as professionals, right? Because I mean that's what you guys are at this point, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So, and just kind of going back I guess a little bit further. I want to talk to you because this was the big thing that I found watching the 2K League was the trash talk. The trash talk, like straight across from each other, man. What was that like? Like, give me a bit of rundown because you don't see that in other esports, right? You guys are no other like few other esports besides like maybe like the fighting games are like that close and that personal, right? So
yeah.
yeah, can you kind of get into that for me?
Yeah, I mean, every team had their trash talkers. I was definitely one of them. I didn't ever take it to a personal level though, because that's when things go bad and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
unnecessary. Because there's a complete difference between like 2K talk, like we call it, like in-game chat, and then outside the game. Because you're in the heat of the moment, you're passionate, you're trying to get your teammates like involved and going. So you say some things that you don't mean, like, oh, this guy's garbage, like you're better than him, take him to the paint, like he can't guard you and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I love it personally. I definitely get involved with it because I'm the energy type guy when we're on the stage and when we're in big games and stuff. So I love bringing the energy and passion and barking at people because people really get nervous on the stage, especially when they have someone um, across from them looking at them, smiling at them, taunting them, talking. So it's really cool. The setup in general is pretty awesome. I actually encourage more of it. Um, because the more like entertaining it is, the more people will watch. Just never like I don't want it to get to like a personal level where players like start getting really offended.
Yeah.
Uh, but luckily with this community, we're all like really close. There's so-called rivalries, but there's no like hatred towards any players between uh, teams and players, which I think is really rare because at the end of the day, we're all there every single weekend in the lobbies together and stuff. You'll see us talking amongst one another like we're teammates. So we're a really close community, and it's really cool. Especially like I said previously, if you are able to get out to the actual setup and just actually feel the atmosphere and see some of the things you can't really see or hear on camera, where the players are talking, coaches, the trash talking, of course. The list really goes on.
Yeah, like I mean, you get some of the background noise like when through the commentators and stuff like that, especially if the guys are barking like that loud, right? But I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I can imagine the studio experience is just like out of this world, right?
yeah, it's absolutely absurd. Like it's incredible. It's something someone has to witness for if they're a fan before they die.
Right on, man. Awesome, awesome. So the community aspect, because it seems like a lot, because like I mean, like I said, I did some digging on you and stuff like that, and it's like it seems like this community has been established for like a couple of years, and now it's finally just kind of gone to like the professional level, right? Like,
Yeah,
has that been kind of the case?
yeah. I mean, that's why I think we're a pretty tight and close community because the 2K community has been going strong for years now. Because before the league, people were still competing for money. I mean, it's NBA 2K. It's the most popular sport game in the entire United States. So and arguably worldwide. I'm pretty sure it might be, if not FIFA is ahead because of obviously soccer
Yeah.
worldwide. But just everyone's always wanted to play it. Everyone's competitive. You see the NBA players wanted to play it. Uh, it all started back in the day when people want bragging rights and to win tournaments and stuff. So I mean, it's pretty blessed that we've been around for so long and we have like just such great overall like people that are involved with this league and the community. It's awesome.
No, that's wicked, man. And just to touch on that on the FIFA comment, do you think that due to your experience with the 2K League, do you think other sports titles have potential to kind of make this transition, or do you think like NBA and FIFA are kind of on their own?
I think absolutely. I don't see why not, especially if it's a professional organization. Because like, I try to explain to people, like, not well, other than obviously technology is just going to continue to grow. So with that, esport will continue to grow over the years, and it's not like every single kid isn't just like born athletically gifted.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's some physical specimen like LeBron or something. So video games allows them and gives them the ability to really be good at something, be proud of something, be whoever they want at times, have different friends from across the world. And they're able to do this because with video games, if you just put in the time and effort, you don't have to be really gifted or skilled, you really just put in the work and you can really be good at something. Whereas real life, like being an athlete or something, you got to really the majority of the time be physically like just gifted or like just it all coming natural. Like it's all about putting in effort and time.
Okay, right on, man. No, it's good. It's good to hear that, like, you get that kind of like broad perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, now, I kind of want to switch gears and kind of go to your first year specifically. I know you said, like, again, you didn't have like the hottest performance. I know the Kings guy weren't sitting super high. What do you can you kind of weigh in on like what you think caused that? Like, I mean, was it things internally? Like, I mean, without getting like too in depth, of course. But what do you think kind of caused the I don't know the lackluster performance? I guess.
I mean, it's a business. Things don't work out. Sometimes it happens. I compare the situation similarly to like OKC back when they had Westbrook, Durant, and Harden when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
Three of the best players in the NBA. They couldn't get it done because you see, you can't just force some things and expect people to perform at a high level just because on paper it looks good. Um, and then when they left, Durant's with the Warriors winning rings. Harden left, he's with the Rockets, an absolute all-star, superstar. And Westbrook's been doing his thing. Um, really, there wasn't really any internal issues. In all honesty, I've got nothing but love for the Kings and stuff. They were great to us, and I'm really good friends with all my teammates still. Off the court, we were really close, especially being in that house together. I talk to them still to this day. I'm pretty sure I talk to them at least once a week. So that's really cool. Things really happen, and that's the honest truth. Everything happens for a reason, and sometimes things don't work out. Some personalities just can't get along, or they can't really mesh together when it comes to actually performing under all that pressure and lights and stuff. So it wasn't really anything that serious. It was just unfortunate, and we started to really find our groove late rather than early.
Right.
And I wish we had a shot at it, but it doesn't happen. But we showed what we were capable of in the ticket, I believe, and towards the end of the season.
No, it's good to hear that. Like, I mean, a lot of times when you hear these questions asked, a lot of people can't really relate it to anything. They just like, oh, like things didn't work out. But for you to actually be able to give me like like another example of just having like good players on paper and then it just not meshing, that's awesome, man. No, that's good to hear. With that being said, do you think that because like you guys ended up saving your performance towards the end and kind of finding your rhythm, do you think like you would ever really worried about you getting re-signed this year or like anything like that? Do you think that was kind of in jeopardy at any point, or were you always like, I'm gonna be good regardless?
I mean, not really, because I was just as shocked as everyone else that I wasn't retained by the Kings because I thought we had a good relationship and nothing bad happened, like I was saying, and I felt I could show what I'm capable of, a top 5 pick towards the end of the season. I've always been a low ego guy and a team player. So the first half of the season, I kind of took that back seat and spotted up and sat in the corner instead of wanting to be that focal point or that guy. But towards the end, luckily, I was able to showcase my skills and arguably outplay both times and should be 2-0 against the regular season champs and MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Walnut. So, and that was off of just barely 2 weeks of practice with that 5 and throwing a big man because we didn't have a true point guard at point guard.
Mm.
So I really thought I showcased my skill and potential towards the end of the year. It was unlucky it happened late, but season 1 was the best lesson I could have had personally ever. And I've never really been worried or concerned because I feel like I'm made for this league and I'm one of the best players in the world. And luckily, I found a home with Los Angeles and Lakers gaming, which if you put every single team on the map without showing me staff, without me knowing anything about it, I would pick to go to LA and be with the Lakers.
I mean, like that's kind of like I feel like the Lakers kind of have like this uniqueness of like it's the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of. Yeah.
LA is one of the most desirable places to be, especially to work. And now you have the biggest marketing tool arguably in the world, especially in sport with LeBron James. So
that's true, man. Absolutely, absolutely. So with that being said, now that you do know, the staff and like what you're going into and stuff like that, how do you think you're going to kind of improve your game? Are you still going to be the low econ, like kind of sit in the back, or are you going to try and like move into like the focal point again, like you kind of said?
Definitely. This is a big redemption season and revenge. season, and we've already established why they picked me, why they believed in me, that I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be the leader. I'm gonna be the focal point. So I'm really excited for that. And what I think we failed at last year for season one as a team was really preparation overall uh, on the season and week to week basis. So I'm excited to really get out to LA in advance before the draft, before the season. And I already have two of arguably the best players in the league as well with Control and Levert, um, who arguably were the best performers on their team last year. Things like I said, they don't always work out,
Yeah.
and some pieces are better, and all these teams have great players. So sometimes you're just the odd man out. But luckily, I'm blessed to be paired with these guys because not only are they great individuals, they're incredible players, and we talk almost every single day. So it's a really relieving feeling, and plus how the Lakers gaming organization has treated us already, it's honestly incredible. And I'm way more optimistic than I was season one going into season two, and we're months away from it. And I never thought I'd ever say that.
Yeah, no, and you kind of like answered my next question before I even got to it, man. I was gonna ask you, well, like, because I mean, we've only seen two of your teammates absolutely slaughtered, right? So I mean, I wanted to kind of get your opinion on those, but you kind of took the words right out of my mouth, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can touch more on it because, like I said,
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm
absolutely.
the first guy. I love giving credit where it's due, and I always put my teammates in front or other people in front of myself. I mean, you had Control, who like was one of the only guys in the league last year that stuck to the same archetype, same position. He was a true point guard and a true playmaker the entire year. He didn't jump and play like a slash and defender and demand 5 out or anything. He stayed on that build, and he was the most consistent player for his team the entire year. And they should have made playoffs and were really close to it. And then you got Vert, who put up just monster numbers. He was top 10 in multiple categories. But like I said, things don't work out, which God bless. I'm lucky that I'm paired up with these two guys. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on us, but there's a lot of spotlight on us as well because we're in LA, and I'm really ecstatic for it. I think it's we should be a lock for playoffs.
Right. Okay. Right. I like the prediction already. I like that shit.
Yeah, I'm really confident.
No, man, that's awesome. Okay, so with on that note, what's is there any other rosters like right now that you're kind of concerned about, or are you just like screw it, like we're up here, everybody else is, below us?
I'm not concerned about any rosters, honestly. I'm one of the more confident guys you'll meet. Uh, just like with the Kings, I thought we were one of the best rosters. The only team that beat us was ourselves. Just like in Pro-Am right now with Throwdown, my brothers, the only team that beats us is ourselves.
Mm.
So the Lakers, the way I see it and the way I want to make us a brotherhood, the only team that's going to beat us is ourselves. I mean, I'll give credit where it's due. The Pacers look great right now with that trio of Ramo, Swizerk, and Wolf. But, I'm not really trying to look into other teams that much. If we game plan well, prepare, and stick to our game plan going into the games, we should have no problem being successful.
Right on, man. Okay, awesome. So, okay, with you and I briefly talked about this before we kind of started up the interview. The open qualifier that just kind of wrapped up. Do you think there's going to be like a resurgence or like a surge of new talent coming in that you guys are going to kind of pick up from, or do you think it's going to be like recruiting a lot of the guys that were already from the inaugural season that didn't get kept?
I think it's going to be more new guys.
Yeah.
I think there's a ton of talent that was left out of the qualifying process last year, or just didn't perform well in the combine to how well they've been a 2K player and how consistent they've been for years now. So I think there's going to be a lot of new talent, but I don't see any reason why these retained guys shouldn't be looked at or brought back in the league too. I think there should be a handful of them because they made the league for a reason. They had to go through professional backgrounds, applications, all that stuff, and they've been on the stage. The stage is different from anything else. The lights, the pressure, knowing you're on camera for thousands of viewers, having to go through the grind of a schedule, traveling, game prepping, just really the mental aspect, and these guys have been through it. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes on a lot of the players that are in the league but aren't retained, because I think a lot of those guys are going to be the best glue guys and really just going to be a solid factor to team success for next season.
Okay, yeah, and that was kind of my thing too, because it seemed like a lot of the boys got just kind of just cut off right off the bat. Like there was a lot of trades and there's a lot of cuts kind of all at once, right?
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of the new guys are going to kind of crack under this pressure of not playing on the stage, not having to deal with this atmosphere and stuff like that, like we talked about earlier, or do you think like the vast majority are going to be totally okay with it?
I mean, there will be some 100% like throughout the year because I pay attention to the little details of things. So I'm always observing and analyzing. There was guys, a numerous amount of guys I couldn't even count on my fingers, um, that you could see were nervous. Even games towards the end of the season, it didn't matter. It's just really it's that much pressure. It's more the mental aspect, knowing the task at hand, knowing what's really going on. Um, a lot of the new guys they should be good though because of how much experience they've had in 2K, and you get settled in after the first couple of games. But there will be some people that do, and that's just the nature of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess on that, I'm kind of on that note, and I want to get your opinion on this, just because you are like a 2K player and stuff like that. Do you find that I guess the guys who come from like the sports game background and stuff like that have more confidence in more, or like are a different kind of breed of esports player than like traditional like say like MOBAs and FPSs and stuff like that, or do you guys find that you're all kind of wrapped into the same group? I guess.
I mean that's hard to tell because I haven't really dove into that really. I hope if you're a professional, you should be confident at something because you're considered one of the best with that title. But I can definitely say, which is a positive thing for the 2K league, the 2K community. There's a lot of confidence out there and guys who are alphas and a lot of times cocky, but that's not the worst thing in the world, honestly either. I'm not personally, but it would be a bad thing if guys weren't confident, going into games or believing in their team or themselves. So I feel like that's a really good thing, and I feel like that's really comes from a competitive nature, which sport really forms at a young age, and going through your life.
Yeah, no, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it because you see a different kind of energy when you watch 2K and you watch
Yeah.
anything else, right? You guys are up and you guys are like vocal and stuff like that, and you don't kind of see that. So I wanted to see if, from your end at least, if there was a difference. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're not paying attention to it, then like I mean, I don't blame you for not really knowing, right? That being said, though, man, I'm kind of good. Is there anything you want to tell your fans? Do you want to tell like anybody who's watching, just as like a public message, I guess?
I mean, I appreciate all the support. It's been overwhelming lately from everyone that supports myself, my teammates, and Lakers Gaming. We got a lot of things to be optimistic about, especially with this roster. And I leave my DMs open. I always take the time to reply or give advice to anyone that asks or has questions, no matter if you have 2 followers or 2 million. That's just how I was raised, the type of person I'll always be. You can follow me at Mootyy2K on Twitter with 2 Ys, and then on Instagram and YouTube is Big Shot Moot. You can give a shout out where to follow you and find you out.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, you can find us at the on Twitter at the Esports Pod. We've yet to be able to snag the actual handle yet. Everywhere else, we're the Project Esports Podcast, and on Twitch, we're the Game House, HAUS. That being said, that kind of does it for us. Moody, thanks a ton, man. I'm gonna be watching you guys. I'm excited. You got me hyped. You sold me on the Lakers, buddy. You made me a fan. So I'm stoked. I'm ready to watch it, man.
Yeah, man. Well, you're rooting for one of the better teams in the league, man. You got a lot to be optimistic about. Thank you for having me, man. The
Yeah.
pleasure's all mine.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
You too.